Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be preaching a sermon about music. This is just going to be a little sermon. Now, flip in your King James Bible to the book of Colossians. Colossians is going to have to look in the table of contents. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Colossians. Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. It says, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the world and not after Christ." Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the tradition of men and the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. So, you have these new worship songs. Well, I mean, they are worship songs. They're just not worshiping God. And, they are, "You make me powerful, you make me strong." And, they're basically all about what God can do for you. "You give me everything, Lord. You make me strong." That's not a real song. I'm just making that up. These look ugly. I'm making that up off the top of my head. But you have the old hymns that people used to sing when the King James Bible was the standard word. And, "I am weak, but thou art mighty. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah." "Jesus, hold my hand." Let me think of another one. But while I'm thinking, the old hymns, they're about God's power and how man is weak and how God is powerful. And the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. They're not going after Christ when they sing these worship songs. They're going after the rudiments of the world. And what is that? Man worship. All these other religions, when you look at it, they worship man. The rudiments of the world, worshiping man and not after Christ. Let me try and think of another hymn. The entire hymn, "How Big is God," is talking about how big he is and how powerful he is. But these modern worship songs, I was scrolling through an article that somebody had linked in their Twitter bio. It was Roma McDowey and her husband Mark Burnett, who were the producers of this The Bible series, and they had a video promoting it. In the video, they had "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." They took out the part where it says, "Jesus gave me the light, I'm gonna let it shine." So where does that light come from? Man. The rudiments of man. "This little light of mine." They took out the specificity where it says Jesus gave you the light. So where does that light come from? You. You're the source of that light. But when you have the light coming from you, you worship yourself. What evolutionists teach, and these people that worship man and not God. Again, remember Colossians 2:8, "The rudiments of the world and not after Christ." That's going to be all for this little sermon. Remember, rudiments of man worship. That's what these modern worship songs are. And they are worship. So if anyone comes to you and says, "These modern worships," if a brother or sister comes to you and says, well, these modern worship songs, they just aren't worship. They're wrong, and you ought to tell them that they are worship songs. They just worship man and not God. All right, that's all. Bye-bye, y'all.